He stopped at a house that was not that big. But it looks beautiful with green trees and grass.
This is the place.
He walked towards the door of the house and pressed the bell. It wasn't long before the door to the house opened.
Brian, how are you?
I really wanted to prove the story that Allan recorded. Just a few more steps, I'm getting closer to finding her. I've been in Oklahoma for a week. I have also started my schooling at Wesleyan University. This morning, I was awakened by the sound of a suitcase being unzipped. Mr. Brian seemed busy packing his things to prepare to return to Los Angeles tomorrow. Later, I was alone with Mr. Kim in this house. Mr. Kim is a busy man. He is rarely at home. Every day, he comes home in the afternoon. Then leave the next morning to teach. There are so many students. He teaches at the Faculty of Health. I immediately got up from my bed. Then I immediately went to the bathroom to wash my face. After that, I helped Mr. Brian, who was busy packing his things. Mr. Brian, can I ask you a favor? I said while helping him pack his things into a suitcase.
Of course.
He stopped packing his things and came over to me.
How can I help you?
Could you walk me down Southwest 89th Street? He thought for a moment.
Are you curious? All right. I'll take you there after I finish packing my things. We haven't been around Oklahoma in all the time we've lived here, after all.
My heart raced. Finally, I will soon prove the truth of Allan's story about Sherlie. A few moments later, I had breakfast accompanied by Mr. Brian.
Okay, I'm done. Let's go.
Mr. Brian led me to the side door of the house and then into a room that turned out to be a garage. I quickly finished my food and immediately followed him. I didn't know there was a garage in this house.
What do you think Kim is showing you this garage for?
He looked for a light socket and turned on the garage light. I can see a large trail-type motorcycle parked in front of the garage exit.
This is the motorbike left by the first owner of this house. Let's go.
Mr. Brian riding that big motorcycle. Garage door opens automatically. The roar of a typical trail bike engine starts to sound loud.
Hey, what are you doing? Hurry up.
I'm looking for a helmet. Mr. Brian burst out laughing.
You think we're in Vermont? Get on board. We're going around the state of Oklahoma.
Quote, I just realized. Apparently in Oklahoma it is not mandatory to wear a helmet while driving. Okay. I immediately got on and held on. The motorbike sped away immediately. I noticed the garage door had started to close automatically. The roads in this area are not too congested. Plus the sunny weather makes the trip even more fun. Cold air began to blow hard through the jacket to my skin. Approximately how long will it take us to arrive?
Maybe 3 hours.
He said while continuing to spur the gas on his motorbike. I was surprised to hear that. This trip takes 3 hours? How far this journey? Mr. Brian spurred his motorbike rather fast. I had exited the Bartlesville area and headed for Silver Lake Road. I knew where I was, because the road I was walking on had street names clearly written on it. But to memorize the route, of course, is very difficult. The cold wind blew faster through the thick jacket I was wearing. Mr. Bryan looked relaxed, despite the cold wind hitting his bare face. The trip has taken approximately 30 minutes. I've been on West 2100 Road. The expanse of meadows on either side of the road amazed me. I feel like I'm back in Woodstock. Here, Mr. Bryan started to accelerate the bike faster, maybe about 50 miles per hour. The road we took this time was straight, and there were no intersections at all. This stretch of green meadow really brings me back to my hometown in Woodstock. I had no idea that in the state of Oklahoma there were still vast expanses of prairie like this. Arriving at this main road junction, our motorcycle turned left. This time, it seems that the road I'm going to take is a highway beside a beautiful green hill.
Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time.
Nice trip, right?
I didn't expect that behind the magnificent buildings, there is still a green area like this here.
Look at that hill. It's still green and beautiful. If we're lucky, we can see a herd of deer.
Is it true?
Of course. But the journey is still far away. Be prepared.
By now, we had been driving for 1.5 hours. We've hit the highway in Oklahoma City. Tall buildings began to appear in this area. East Harrison Avenue. I tried to read the name of the street I just walked. Many shops here. Not long after that, the motorbike we were riding started to enter a large road that was full of vehicles. The wind in this area began to feel arid. South Division Street. I see there's a Walmart, McDonald's and various famous shopping centers located in this area. We entered a supermarket to refuel at a gas station located in the parking lot of this supermarket. Mr. Bryan stuck out his electronic payment card, pressed the button on the gas station. I watched, he chose regular fuel. Then he advanced the motor to the place of refueling. He took the fuel hose and put it in the motorcycle tank.
You know, the price of fuel today is decreasing. Look at this. The price per gallon is less than $2.
Really? He said while showing the price of fuel on the display board.
That's right. Look, as far as I know, last month the price of fuel oil jumped up to $4. If I had known the price of gas was dropping like this, maybe I would have taken you in the car. But, I prefer to ride a motorcycle.
No, Mr. Bryan. I'm already very happy to be delivered by you.
Are you going to visit your girlfriend? Only men who will meet girlfriend, I think, who want to travel as far as 170 miles.
I just smiled and shook my head. I laughed while saying, "Is that true, Mr. Bryan? Have you ever experienced it?" He smiled, then silent as if remembering the past. He didn't answer my question. He just invited me to continue the journey back. The journey resumed, this time through a very congested highway.
This is Oklahoma City. We'll be there in a minute.
He showed me the surroundings. Just like I imagined, this time there were more vehicles and more buildings. I passed a large university in downtown Oklahoma. I thought, maybe this is where I will continue the special school of psychiatry, to pursue a master's degree after graduating from the first level at Wesleyan University. In the city center there are lots of flyovers and toll roads specifically for four-wheeled vehicles, which of course, motorbikes are not allowed to enter. Mr. Brian took a detour into a road next to which there is a very beautiful lake. It didn't feel we had been traveling for almost 3 hours. This trip was not felt because this became a pleasant journey for me. The motorbike that I was riding turned again to the left, onto a major highway with 2 lanes. This time it wasn't too crowded. On the left and right is a wide grassy empty land. South Portland Avenue. I read a sign indicating the name of the road I was walking. After about 30 minutes, we turned again towards the road, which this time was very barren with wide weeds on the left and right of the road. The houses in this area are some distance away and sparse. On the side of the road there is only a mailbox and several trash cans arranged neatly.
We have arrived.
Is this area Southwest 89?
Which house are you looking for?
Mr. Brian slowed down his motorbike and parked his motorbike on the right side of the road, which looked deserted. I took my cell phone out of my trouser pocket to started looking for an address that I saved in my cell phone records. Southwest 89 Stone Road 111.
Road 111? Alright, let's look for it.
I got back on the bike, then continued the journey to find the house that I mentioned earlier. Not long, Mr. Brian stopped his motorbike at a mailbox marked 111 Road.
111 Road. This is it.
I got off the motorbike to make sure I wasn't mistaken. This house really exists. Shirley didn't lie about her home address.
Is this really her house? Are you sure? It feels like this house was abandoned by its owner for a long time. It seems that it was recently occupied again.
I looked at the simple house. The outer walls were wood, pale white in color. This house seems old. The path to the door of his house looks worn, mossy. The house is also not fenced. The mailbox says 111 Road. I thought, this is the house Shirley meant. Surprisingly, outside the house there are lots of obsolete unused objects. I'm sure, this house was recently inhabited again after being abandoned for a long time.
Do you want to try to go inside?
I don't know. I still lack confidence. I'm afraid it's the wrong person.
Are you embarrassed that I'm here?
I didn't think that far.
Then mind your business. I also happen to want to visit a friend of mine nearby in Oklahoma City. Lots of entertainment in this area.
He immediately started his motorbike, then left me. Mr. Brian, wait.
Don't worry, I'll be back in 2 hours from now.
What the? Mr. Brian left me. What should I do now? With a sense of annoyance, I finally worked up the courage to step towards the path that leads to the door of the house. I don't think about anything anymore. The important thing is, my curiosity about Shirley's real figure can be answered.